My dearest Fani, I'm writing to you.
Trump told the Iowa audience he would not be a dictator except for on his first day in office.
Mayor Trump, and you ain't black.
I'm gonna come.
I made my financial disclosures disappear. Trump, I'm going through all your stuff. You better come out and pound me.
The state of Georgia, who I'm not like a super big fan of, obviously, I think the Republicans of Georgia are extremely weak and are quite corrupt, but even they have seen what a fraud and what a humiliation this has brought upon their state and the judicial system of their state. And so Brian Kemp, who's the governor of Georgia, you might like him, you probably hate him. Brian Kemp, again, very, very weak Republican, hasn't done jack for election integrity in the state of Georgia and allowed effectively the election systems in Georgia to be utterly compromised. I mean, truly, I think Brian Kemp is a malevolent figure. Yet, a broke clock is right twice a day. Brian Kemp signed into law a bill aimed at reining in rogue prosecutors amid a wider scrutiny surrounding the Fulton County District Attorney Office Fani Willis prosecution of former President Donald Trump. The bill would allow the Prosecuting Attorneys Qualification Commission, created last year to determine its own rules as to whether the Supreme Court, without the Supreme Court's approval. Speaking to the press about the signing of the bill, Kemp cited the issue of crime, saying the legislation was needed to ensure prosecutors were properly prosecuting criminals and not people because they didn't like their skin color. And what we mean by that is, of course, Orange Man. Orange Man bad. The entire argument for 2024 will be Orange Man bad. Get ready for the resuscitation of that meme. This legislation will help ensure that rogue, incompetent prosecutors are held into account if they refuse to uphold the law, Kemp said. As we know all too well, crime has been on the rise across the country, especially in prevalent cities where prosecutors are giving criminals a free pass, failing to put them behind bars for lack of professional conduct. Here, where we broadcast out of Florida in Tampa. That's where I live. And there was a George Soros prosecutor that snuck in under the radar, right? There's some mouth-breathing libs in this, in this area. It's pretty split city, right? Like Republican, Democrat. It's certainly not a Democrat city. But these people can sneak under the radar and they take George Soros's money and they can win these races. And Ron DeSantis just nuked the guy from space. He's like, oh, yeah, you're not going to prosecute crime? Boom, gone. And he just took the guy sued, lost. Now he's gone. Ron DeSantis, of course, showing what Ron DeSantis is the best Republican governor in the country, in my opinion. One of the worst presidential candidates in the country, but the best Republican governor in the country because of actions like this. He actually uses the muscular executive power of the Florida governor's office, just straight up remove prosecutors like that. Wouldn't that be amazing in Fulton County? You're like, no, you can't just go after Donald Trump for nothing, for specious charges. No, gone. And so that's what this law is actually allowing to happen. Get a load of this. When out-of-touch prosecutors, this is a quote from the governor, put politics over public safety, the community suffers, people and property are put at risk. Today we are renewing our commitment that we will not forfeit public safety for prosecutors and let criminals off the hook. Georgia deserves better and deserves to feel safe in their own communities. So, ladies and gentlemen, smart. This has been sort of like a end around in the destruction of America. Obviously, George Soros figured this out. Dollars for money. This is the easiest way to destroy America. This is the easiest way to destroy our great cities. Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, New York, Philadelphia, put them all on the list. LA, San Francisco. You just pay a teeny little, just dollars for money, man. You put a little bit of money in to one of these prosecutors, and they were able to go in and turn the entire city into Gotham, or open up Arkham Asylum and just let the people rampage. And then of course you get criminal migrants coming in, criminal aliens, and those criminal aliens commit crimes and the prosecutors just let them out. You need the votes? And then they go down to Georgia and they kill Laken Riley, which is exactly what happened. That's exactly the TikTok of what happened. And so it's like a very cheap way to destroy America and to kill Americans inside of America. And so thank God the Republican governors are putting an end to this, a really, really smart and very, very good thing to do. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Fani Willis is facing criminal perjury inquiry in Georgia. Man, not great. Not a great week for Fani Willis. And we haven't even started getting to work on her on this program. Get ready. We haven't even gotten started here, ladies and gentlemen. Get a load of this. District Attorney in Donald Trump's election fraud case in Georgia now facing perjury charges this week. Judge Scott McAfee is expected to rule at the end of the week. Could be during this show. Come on, baby. Make it during the show. Let's go. Fox News has the little thing up saying it could happen right now. Do they know something we don't know? We don't know. Does Fox News know something we don't know? They don't, like, Fox News doesn't give up screen time, right? For something that might not happen. They even have a live shot of the courthouse right now. So they have a live shot up at the courthouse. Any moment. Decision on DA Willis's fate. Whoa, that's a new one. So that's happening. My producer is telling me that's happening right now. So we'll see. We'll see. You know how we do on this program. We will literally go live for the next 10 hours if they do this. So we'll see. We'll see. We're here for you. Thank you for being here for us. We'll see if this judge is here for justice. Judge Scott McAfee is expected to rule at the end of the week as to whether Fani Willis should be removed by Trump from the Trump trial or even face perjury charges as a result of her relationship with Nathan Wade, chief prosecutor in Trump case. Trump and his co-accused claim that Willis only appointed Wade to the case because they were in a relationship. Trump's team presented evidence from a technical expert that allegedly showed that Wade made late-night trips to Willis's home long before the Trump case began. One can be convicted of perjury in Georgia for knowingly making a materially false statement under oath. However, in order to convict for perjury, there must be more than one witness. I doubt that there's more than one witness to her alleged affair at the time, said a New York-based attorney. That's not true. That's not true. There are like tons of witnesses. We'll stack them up in the show. I believe that the distinction should be drawn between the evidence that impeaches the witness and the sense that it affects the witness's credibility. There is no more credibility. The credibility is gone. How bad is it? How bad has it gotten? Ladies and gentlemen, I love starting the show off with Assault That Lib. This is a show where the salt must flow. Defense attorney tells MSNBC that the judge pulling Fani Willis from the case will be the death knell for the case. So MSNBC, I love these MSNBC clips. We have a series of them where MSNBC gets like red and black pilled live on camera with these legal scholars being like, not only is this going poorly, this is going disastrous. Like, this is the Titanic happening, but the Titanic is sinking on a dumpster fire on a train that's going over into the Grand Canyon off the tracks. This is not good. Like, and these people are libs. They want Donald Trump to go to jail. And they're straight up like telling MSNBC, we're doomed. It's done. We're finished. So stacking up a couple of important things here, all right? One, the amount of interest in this trial is not great for Fani Willis. They hope that these kind of things, like when you're getting this kind of attention nationally, like that creates pressure on the system, media pressure on the system, that really corrupts the potential of a case. This was what happened during the OJ trials. The amount of media scrutiny and attention actually began to like create immense drama outside of the courtroom, corrupting the case and making it much, much bigger, okay? The media attention here is warranted, obviously, but that's a major compounding factor. Two, the judge is taking 2 weeks to decide this issue. Remember, Fani Willis was elected, as far as we know, right? Fulton County, lots of shenanigans in Fulton County. Watch out for the water pipes inside of the county offices. But the judge should just let the DA bring her case. That's just the normal process of things. This is not normal. The fact that the judge is allowing this to happen and that the judge is sitting there saying, I got to take 2 weeks to make this decision. That's a very dangerous precedent. That's like not normal. That means somebody effed up big time. And they are on thin ice, if they're on any ice at all. And now the judge, preceding the disqualification ruling, has been nuking from space some of the main charges that make up the bulk of Fani Willis's case against Trump. We covered that yesterday, but he just completely threw out 6 of the charges before even a trial, saying Fani Willis doesn't have the evidence to bring these charges. He's not even going to allow those charges to be brought. Boom, done, innocent. Trump, well, not even innocent. There's not even a ruling. The ruling is Fani Willis can't bring these charges. You already lost. Before you even presented a scintilla of evidence, you're done. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to MSNBC already singing their little siren song, their swan song, on air. Oh, and it is salty. Oh, and it is delicious. And if Fani Willis gets disqualified from the case, that means the case goes back to the Attorney General of Georgia. Georgia has supermajorities for Republicans in both chambers and a full Republican government, just like most states with like a big city. You look at like Illinois is a good example. There's one county, Cook County, that's a Democrat county in all of Illinois. The entire rest of Illinois is red. Georgia is very similar. The entire rest of the state is pretty much red. And there's one county, Fulton County, that's a Democrat like superstructure. Atlanta, right? And so if Fani's disqualified, you can't take the case anywhere else. Everyone else will kill it. Everyone else is going to kill it. Everyone else is going to drop all charges and say this is a specious case. That ain't going to happen. So if they disqualify Fani, it's game over, right? So ladies and gentlemen, let's cope and seethe with MSNBC. That's sort of the setting of the table here, putting meat on the bones. Here's MSNBC seething, crying, screeching, salt rocks from their faces. Help me salt these libs, ladies and gentlemen. I want salt shakers in the comment section. Salt these libs.
Again, I think this shows that Judge McAfee is taking, his duty seriously with respect to really not letting politics play a part in his decisions whatsoever.
I just wonder if he would go there, if he would dismiss charges, if he's planning to throw out the case or remove it from Fani Willis altogether, as we await that decision over the question about whether, there was misconduct with her relationship and Nathan Wade.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't have anything to do with it. These are completely distinct legal issues. And certainly his decision on the disqualification, as we all know, does not kill the case in and of itself. He wouldn't dismiss the indictment. It would just be reassigned to sort of a governing body in Georgia to then be reassigned. However, I myself feel, and many other people feel, that would, in effect, essentially be the death knell for this case because, another time when Fani Willis was removed from a case in this very case for a conflict of interest, that case is still languishing at that body. It hasn't been reassigned yet. I don't know that there are many other prosecutors in the state of Georgia that would want to take on this case, that have the resources, the expertise. And so this, could be sort of death by a thousand cuts.
No, death by nuclear atomic weapon. Death by salt bomb. Oh, thank you for all that salt. We really appreciate it. Yum, yum. Salt's so good. So we are sitting here telling you exactly what the MSNBC commentators are saying online and on air. We're saying the same thing. What kind of a world is this? What kind of a world is it where, we're saying the exact same thing as MSNBC? She's saying that there's no institution in Georgia that would ever pick up this case. Georgia's a red state. They lie to you and cross the wires and wiggle the wires to try and make it a blue state. It's not. It's a supermajority red state. We've been to Georgia a lot. We've done a lot of work in Georgia. Those people love Trump. You drive through Georgia, we have. You see Trump signs everywhere. Fani Willis lives in this teeny little blue enclave, which is really crime-ridden hellhole, Fulton County. We went to Fulton County once to film a Man on the Street, and we want to go back. Now I'm going to regret not going back sooner, because if they disqualify Fani, we'll miss our window. But we want to go back. We went to Fulton County once to film Man on the Street, Rolls-Royce and I did. And Rolls-Royce, pop yourself on camera. How big were show the people, how big were the rats that we saw just running around in broad daylight, okay? In a very nice part of Atlanta. How big were the rats?
I have a clip on my phone somewhere. The rat was literally 2 feet long. It was ginormous. There's a clip where it runs behind Benny, and it's scary how big it is. It's disgusting. And it was hundreds hundreds of rats running all over the place. I honestly couldn't count, but we'd be walking down the street and just rat after rat after rat, all in the park. There's like this Central Park area right in Atlanta where we were walking through talking to people, and there was hundreds of rats. And I went out, I'll never forget this. I went out, there was a CVS. I was out of like toothpaste or something. I went across the street at night, shouldn't have done that in Atlanta, at night, and there was double the amount of rats that came out in that Central Park, like small area in Atlanta. I couldn't believe it. And if we go back, I have no doubt that there'll be even more, actually, because he's not done anything that I know about it.
I am telling you people that if you have an infestation of filth and rats and plague and disease, that means that you have a government filled with plague, disease, and filth. And that is what you're seeing in Fulton County. It was the middle of the day. I've never seen a city like this. It was the middle of the day. We were in a nice part of Atlanta, right downtown. We were staying in a fancy hotel, right? We were staying in a nice hotel because, like, we wanted to be safe. We want a hotel with security and stuff, right? And right outside the doorstep, I mean, it was like, it was filthy. It's not even Gotham. Gotham's kind of cool. It was just like, it was like filth. It was like third world for third world environment. It was gross. And so we apologize. The people of Atlanta deserve better. And you should have prosecutors that are focused on different things. Some dude flashed a gun at us while we were walking down the street. Some dude threatened us. And like Fulton County is like a murder capital. There's so much crime going on in Fulton County. I mean, like, we should do like a crime special on Fulton County. There's so much crime to prosecute in Fulton County. The amount of time and resources that are being spent on this, I mean, it's demonic. It means you must hate the people that elected you. You must literally hate them. Because there are so many problems in that county. Okay, just like a quick aside. I see that the commenters are summoning ALX, ladies and gentlemen. ALX is always at the ready. You may get ALX. We may have an ALX. Let's build an ALX update into the script because we have a Twitter story later on in the show. We'll put in the ALX update. No, don't worry. We listen to the commenters. We see the comments. We put the comments on screen when we're live. Like, don't you worry. We listen. Everyone else betrays their audience. Bud Light, Disney, everyone else is betraying their audience. We are like focused up, razor focused on this audience. People are calling for ALX. Well, we're going to build in an ALX update. ALX for VP. Okay. Hey, he's got the photo with Trump. Trump loves the shirt. Never surrender. Thanks, Fani. Thank you, Fani. In fact, we went to a Trump campaign event recently with our Trump mugshot shirt. ALX was wearing one when we were hanging out with Trump this weekend. But we went to a Trump rally with the Trump mugshot shirt and asked people what they thought of the Trump mugshot. You want to talk about like the biggest backfire in American history. Here's just a preview with a full video is going to be up this weekend or Friday. It's in final edits, but here's like a quick preview of what Fani Willis has done. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the backfire is here. Like by giving Donald Trump a mugshot, like what you've done is given him the greatest political tool. Like, is Fani Willis secretly working for Trump? Like the greatest political tool ever. It's awesome. It's why we have it printed off in our studio. It's like 4 feet tall. Like that mugshot's massive. All right. And we wore this mugshot to a Trump rally, and this was the result. And we hope you like it. What's your message to Donald Trump?
Thank you for being here.
Why do you like Donald Trump?
Because
he makes America great. Free Donald, man.
Yeah, free Trump.
Hey, man, I love you. Make America great again. Hey, he big time gangster, man. You know what it is, man. Yeah. That's Donald right there. Vote for the Trump, man. F Biden. They scared of the Donald, man. Joe Biden don't want no smoke, man. They ain't stepping for Donald like that. They ain't riding for Donald like that, man. We riding, man.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest?
You ain't black.
On August 24th, 2023, Donald Trump received this mugshot from Fulton County. This event created the largest political backlash the world has ever seen. This mugshot did not ruin Donald Trump. It made him an icon, a legend, a gangster.
Boy, this shit gangster. Can't lie to you.
In the moments after the mugshot, people were in the streets of Fulton County screaming, "Free my boy Trump." Rappers are getting tattoos of this mugshot on their bodies, and even Snoop Dogg's coming out saying, "I've got nothing but love for Donald Trump." We decided to go to a Trump rally in the Deep South and see what people thought about this mugshot by wearing one on our shirt. This is Benny on the Block, Trump Mugshot Edition. Let's go. Possibly the longest line I've ever seen for a Trump rally. What do you think of my t-shirt, ma'am?
I love the mugshot. Thank you, Georgia.
This is straight gangster.
Gangster, I love it.
It's awesome. I love your shirt.
People putting this on their sheet cakes on their birthday, getting tattoos of this.
Absolutely.
There are rappers getting like full thigh tattoos of this.
Yeah.
Don't tell my wife, I got one too.
Yeah.
It's a tramp stamp.
On the back.
How did you know?
I knew.
I love your shirt, ma'am. It's beautiful. You have great fashion sense.
Thank you very much.
What a beautiful mugshot. It might be the most beautiful mugshot ever.
Oh, good.
He's a gangster.
He's a gangster.
Yeah.
I love it. I wish I had one to wear tomorrow night when I DJ because I'm ready for Trump to get back in office.
Love it. Love it. I mean, just, better profile that he's had in the years that he's been in office. It says something to the community. And it really means a lot to people, just, ordinary folks that represent freedom and love, people that stands up. And even our president, and what he's doing, he's standing up for us.
Man, your shirt is awesome. When I saw it, I was like, Benny, yeah.
I think your shirt's awesome.
That's my favorite picture of Trump. Like, I love that. Once people saw that mugshot, they were just like, I can't do anything but vote for this man.
I mean, it's pretty gangster. I mean, the mugshot.
I think it's pretty funny. I've seen the memes and stuff, and I think it's pretty good stuff.
This is like backfire, right? Because this makes Trump a gangster.
Yeah, so drippy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't surrender.
I love this guy right here. Let me give this guy a hug right here. I love this guy right here. Yeah. Come here.
Yeah. Come on. What other shows are doing stuff like that? Like, we were having a blast, ladies and gentlemen, at this program. We thank you so much, obviously, for supporting us in our work out here. We are here to actually do our best to bring as many people. It's like we view a political party kind of like a real party. Like, you got to have fun. You don't want to go to a party where everyone's like stuffy and screaming about, like, I don't know, all the pain in their lives and like how oppressed they are, what victims they are. Feel bad for me. We'll get to that with Don Lemon later on. But you don't want to go to that party. You don't want to go to that party where like the host is like some old creepy old guy who like smells like old mustard stains and mothballs, and he's sniffing you, and he's, oh man, talking about his whatever he talks about. Yeah. Anyway, no, you don't want that. You don't want that. You want to go to a party where people are laughing and having a good time. That's what you want. You want to go to a party like that. And we were like dead set on like creating that here. And obviously, well, I think we're winning. Boys, I think we're winning. Check this out from CNN. Trump charges dropped in Georgia case, embarrassing screw up for Fani Willis. This is CNN's legal expert. This guy hates Donald Trump, and he is a TDS 11 stricken sad man who deserves a therapist couch. Every time he talks about Donald Trump, he like gets hives and the shakes on air. But here he is being like, he can't help it. These people can't help themselves because they know this is the last chance the Democrats have to like put Trump in jail before the election, and it's all blowing up in their faces. So he's talking about the judge deciding before the trial, we're not going to allow these charges to be brought against Trump. This is such a dumpster fire of a filing against Trump. I can't allow the main crux of your case. I can't allow that to actually go forward. So you're done here, Big Fanny. Here's CNN like weeping over it. We got to do another salt that lib. We got to do. There's one more salty clip. There's one more salty clip. We never do 2 salt that libs in a row, but we got to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We got the salt shakers out. Let's salt this lib one more time. The salt must flow. Here's CNN weeping on air over Fani Willis's big time F up. There's been a lot of Fani Willis F ups, if you know what I mean. Let's go.
That phone call is still part of the case. There are other charges in the case that squarely relate to that phone call. For example, the first count in the indictment, which is the very broad racketeering count, will still include that conduct. There are other fraud counts that would still include that conduct. So I don't think this ruling changes the type of evidence that the DA is going to be able to introduce, but it does knock out some of the charges. And look, it's embarrassing for prosecutors. It's a screw up by prosecutors when you bring a charge and then a judge throws it out before it even goes to trial.
It's a screw up. It's the end. It's something that's like, I mean, what they're not saying there is that these 6 charges are effectively the brick, like, and mortar and cornerstone of the case. And that without it, the case is really quite frankly, toilet paper thin. This is what Jonathan Turley, one of our favorite legal analysts, is saying on Fox.
What do you think will happen in this case as it relates to her? And what should happen in your view?
Well, this case is disassembling in front of our eyes. This was a very basic error. You know, this is a major case, but these prosecutors didn't put together the most basic narrative or facts that have to support these counts. The question is, what did the grand jury know? If it wasn't in the indictment, how did they vote out these crimes? What were they told as the basis? Because the judge just said, you're not even telling the defendant what he needs to know to defend himself. I don't know what facts you're alleging here. Now, they could go back to the grand jury and get a superseding indictment, but that's going to take time. It's going to take time off the clock. And they might have a problem doing what is obviously their overriding purpose here, which is to try Donald Trump before the election. They could just go without these counts. The judge said, I'll let you refer to the underlying conduct. I just won't let you use them as standalone crimes for these particular counts unless you go back to the grand jury.
Ooh, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know us. We're going to have our team at the ready. If there is a decision by this judge live on the show, it's going to be either today or tomorrow. We have that in the judge's own words, in fact. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, based on an interview that the judge just did, a radio interview, the guy's been holed up in his office writing this decision. Nobody's seen him, but he did do a radio interview because judges are elected positions in Fulton County. And so the guy's been doing interviews. He does stand for election. And he has an opponent who Fani Willis is funding. Isn't that interesting, ladies and gentlemen? Funding directly with petty cash out of her fanny pack. But Fani Willis, nonetheless, is going to try to run somebody against this judge. And he got a phone call on the radio about it. And here's what he had to say. See if you can pick up in this clip how doomed Fani actually is. Have a listen.
And I know it's true. So on that state, can you tell us? I have got to ask this question also. Can you tell us? Are you any close or anywhere closer to that 2-week decision on the election interference? Are we closer to that? Are we sooner than 2 weeks or outside of 2 weeks? How are we looking?
I gave myself a deadline because I knew everyone wanted an answer, and I'll tell you, an order like this takes time to write. There's a lot that I have to go through. And so, you know, I'll emphasize this. I've had a rough draft and an outline before I ever heard a rumor that someone wanted to run for this position. So the result is not going to change because of politics. I am calling it as best I can in the law as I understand it. So I still feel like I'm on track to having that done by the deadline that I put on myself.
2 things. He's on track to having this done, and he already started writing this ruling before they announced the political opponent. What does that mean? Well, that means the judge has been working on this for some time. Now, let me tell you a little something. We have big-time friends in the legal profession. They come on the show. You know, we have Brett Tolman on the show. We have Julie Kelly. We have Mike Davis. We have some of the smartest legal minds in the world on this program. We're thankful for that, for them to come here and give us insight and to tell us about what's actually going on. And here's what they tell me. These people are the ones who appoint the judges, right? Mike Davis was in charge of appointing like 1,000 judges. So he knows these guys. So Mike's talking to me offline. And he's like, here's a absolute bona fide reality that judges typically, they are ordered to just simply go along with the process. All right. The process is to let the DA bring the charges and to hear the case. The process is not to disqualify the DA for banging everyone up and down her staff. That's not the process. The process is not to allow these kind of hearings to become absolute catnip for the media and for people that are looking to embarrass the offices and the judicial institutions of the state of Georgia. Like, that's the judge's job, is to uphold those institutions. And so when the judge, and this is something that Mike told me, when the judge takes this time, when judges are ponderous and like taking this amount of time to issue these rulings, it means doom. It doesn't mean they're going to stick with the same old process, because that's what they're supposed to do. If judges are taking weeks, and if he's like having to like sit there and like go into his office and like consult his law books and legal experts and write some big opinion, it means they're going to disqualify. That's what we've been told. And he would have damn good reason to. Fani Willis should be facing felony counts in the state of Georgia. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, has brought felony charges against, has effectively like said, here are the felonies that Fani Willis engaged in, and you must prosecute. So as a member of Congress, she's gone to the state attorney general and has these big discharge petitions, like saying, here are some of the times that Fani Willis engaged. But here's one that's like just on its face, like a bona fide lie, right? Here's a bona fide lie. Fani Willis, during her testimony, did you ever go to the White House? Go.
My next question is based on her opening the door, and therefore I'll just ask it, and Your Honor can decide whether or not it's appropriate. When you went to D.C., did you go to the White House?
I did not go to the White House.
No. Well, apparently I'm going to get the answer anyhow.
There you have it. Next question.
Okay.
Okay. You can hear in that clip, maybe we should slow that clip down. You can hear in that clip her counsel, the Bud Light lawyer, Mr. Bud Light Law. You can hear the guy go, You can hear it in that clip. You can hear him try to interject and be like, don't say it. They know this exists. They know that there's a Secret Service record of Fani Willis going to the White House. There it is on your screen. Let's zoom in. You can see her name, the date and time that she went to the White House and met with the vice president. Fani Willis met with the White House. Nathan's Hot Dog went and met with the White House counsel before the indictments. So there, Fani Willis just perjured herself. Not only do we have the Secret Service record, so what's your argument? The Secret Service lied? Secret Service is lying about you going to the White House? You know how hard it is to get into the White House? We've been to the White House many times. You know what a big pain in the ass it is to like actually get physically into the White House grounds? They don't make mistakes. This is not a mistake. This required Fani Willis's social security number, home address, a full background check on Fani Willis. They went into like literally, if you have the wrong social media postings, you can't get in the White House. This happens all the time. Where the White House like invites somebody and the Secret Service says, nope, you're not allowed to come in. Criminal background check, we didn't like it. You did something at some time, at some point, and you're not allowed in. Only the president's family gets waved into the White House based on facial recognition. And that's how you get the bags of Coke in the White House, actually. Don't need to go any further into that one. That's how you get bags of Coke in the White House. That's not a lie. And ladies and gentlemen, what does this mean? Well, this means that actually, like, just based on this lie alone, and we can detail like 50 more lies, and we're going to actually. Based on this lie alone, Fani Willis must be disqualified. You just lied, right? This is what was the testimony of Miss Merchant, who's a lawyer for Trump, or the Trump defendants. Miss Merchant testified to the Georgia Senate. No. There's only one way to deal with this. It's disqualification and potentially disbarment. Watch.
I wonder, okay, so in that testimony, did she deny the start date of this affair?
Yes, she said it started in early of 2022. There was some discrepancy between them, a month or two here and there, whether it started, generally it was around March, is what Mr. Wade and Ms.
What are the
Willis.
consequences for an attorney to give sworn testimony that she did if you're Bradley, what is it, Yearkey? Yearty, your Trackhawk data, your other independent verifications are found to be truthful?
It's a crime. It's a felony. You'd lose your license.
Okay.
It's perjury.
Same for Wade.
Yes. And we have rules that are one of the, outside of privilege and confidentiality, we cannot suborn perjury. So if I have a client who tells me I did it, I can't put them on the stand to say I didn't do it.
Okay.
I would lose my license over that. I cannot do that.
And
So, wow, that seems like super duper criminal. We just proved the Fani Willis lie. We just proved it. We have the records. We literally have the records. So, what else do you need, right? But we have so much more. We have so much more. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many things that we could play for you. So many clips we could play for you to blow holes in this prosecutor's office, the size of the hull of the Titanic. Let's begin, okay? Here's one of my favorites. It's my all-time favorite. Steve Sadow is the Trump lawyer, the personal lawyer for President Trump. And Steve Sadow presented a text message to the lawyer for Nathan Wade. This guy was in business with him. And it is a text message saying, effectively, why are they hiring Nathan Wade? They're dating. You're just hiring your boyfriend. This seems criminal. And the lawyer responds, oh, yeah, absolutely. On the stand, the lawyer responds with, oh, dang. When given this information, the lawyer goes, oh, dang. Here we go.
Okay? In Defense Exhibit 26, which I showed you last time, was 2 pages of text messages between you and Ms. Merchant, correct? Correct. All right. Now, the first page starts off by saying, Ms. Merchant, like, just date, don't hire him. Do you think it started before she hired him? You see that?
Yes, I see it. Yes.
Okay. Not ever a great sign when your lawyer is being presented with evidence and going, oh, dang. Never great. We've slowed it down for your viewing pleasure in our ESPN instant replay here. Oh, dang. Oh, man. The lies that they told on the stand were so egregious that even MSNBC called them out. MSNBC, ladies and gentlemen, played back-to-back clips of Nathan Wade and Fani Willis lying on the stand about their relationship and then bringing in a preponderance of evidence, including witnesses, fact witnesses, saying, nope, they're lying. They're lying about their relationship. Again, we'd have to do a show for the next 10 hours to detail every single lie, but let's just go on its face, like the obvious ones. They're Fani Willis's best friend, Big Fanny's best friend, is straight up saying, nope, they started dating way before the Trump case, And this is all money laundering between the two of them via the taxpayer dollars. Even MSNBC tearfully has to admit on air. Watch.
When did your romantic relationship with Miss Willis begin?
2022.
When? In 2022.
Early 2022.
So you were appointed in November of 2021.
Yes, ma'am.
And your relationship started early. What's early? January? February?
Around March.
Around March. But you two met at an October 2019 judicial conference, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That testimony directly contradicts earlier testimony from one of Willis's former good friends who said the relationship began well before Wade testified it did and predated his hearing by the DA.
You have no doubt that their romantic relationship was in effect from 2019 until the last time you spoke with her?
No doubt. Did you observe them do things that are common among people having a romantic relationship?
Yes.
Such as, can you give us an example?
Hugging, kissing, just affection.
All before November 1st of 2021, correct?
Yes.
Just affection, just a basic hugging and kissing. In fact, they were so close that Fani Willis's defense lawyer called her Miss Wade. It's so good. So the guy they're not, what did Donald Trump say? They're not sending their best. The guy who's hired to defend you, the Bud Light lawyer, Mr. Bud Light we call him, this lawyer, super weak beer, this guy, sweating and like shaking like a leaf. This guy straight up calls Fani Willis Miss Wade. Ooh, oh, it's gotta hurt. Watch.
As well as large-scale cases like this one, and much larger. And they also, there's a lot of high-profile prosecutions. If Miss Willis's ultimate goal by hiring Mr. Wade was for her financial benefit, then she would put Mr. Wade on every single one of those cases. Though she could certainly revel in the riches and lavish lifestyle that has been referred to by defense counsel.
They're not sending their best. Listen, they're not sending their best, but I cannot close out this section without playing our favorite moment of the section that proves to you exactly the value of the reporting that we do at this show. We have been able to use some new technology. It may have been given to us by Elon Musk, may not have. We're not sure. We cannot reveal that. But we've been able to use some mind-reading technology that has allowed us to take a specific clip from this trial and show you exactly what Nathan Wade was thinking about. Nathan Wade was asked a very tough question. It's a question that makes most lawyers, Ivy League educated lawyers, Yale, Harvard, some of the best, cream of the crop, makes them shiver. Don't ever ask a lawyer if they've ever been to a cabin, ladies and gentlemen. That is the toughest question there is. Toughest question there is, have you ever been to a cabin? That's what was asked of Nathan Wade, ladies and gentlemen. Took him about 60 seconds to answer, but we've been able to use our technology, exclusive and patented and licensed by this program, to show you exactly what Nathan Wade was thinking about when asked that, the toughest of all questions. Nathan's hot dog, have you ever been to a cabin? Let's see, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever?
Ever.
All this time we've been together, thought a thing would last forever. Through thick and thin, good or bad, all I was happy, never sad. Now it's all gone sour, getting worse.